You found your person. Now let the Knot help you with everything else. The Knot connects you to the wedding inspo, vendors, venues, and planning tools you need to make your day totally you. Having helped plan 25 million weddings, we've got your back when it comes to every little detail like RSVPs, budgets, and more. Because your wedding comes to life with the connections that matter the most. Get started at theknot.com/audio. The Knot. Let's plan your wedding together.
Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast is now on YouTube. Go on YouTube and search Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast and click that subscribe button to never miss an episode. Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. And also, it is March, but this is the first time that we're recording in 2021, so we can kind of be a little bit more relevant for you. But it's not just me today. This is the one that likes to go out poaching. He's my good old co-host, Dougie Fresh. Dougie, man, how you doing?
I don't think I like that nickname at all.
You don't like going poaching, Doug?
No, I don't, because it's illegal.
You don't like breaking and entering?
No.
Well, that's what our good trio does today, and they find trouble as soon as they do it.
Well, it is a public gym.
But they don't know it's a gym.
Well, but it is.
I know it is a gym, but they don't know that they're inside of a gym.
Maybe they did.
So they knew. This is going to be an interesting episode. But yeah, we have our next gym battle in this episode, Doug. But outside of that, let's kind of catch up for about 5 minutes, bro. It's been a while since we've recorded. I mean, obviously, everybody else listening doesn't know that because of our backlog. But we kind of took 3 weeks off of recording because of our backlog.
Yeah, you got a little antsy about our commentaries not being so fresh, so you kind of pulled the plug on us there. I was ready to keep going.
Oh, way to throw me under the bus! But we do have new software though.
We do that we wouldn't have had. Not for everything. I mean, we would have had them. I mean, we had a little bit of technical hiccups.
Just on a few episodes. But
well, yeah, but I mean, we got them figured out.
Oh, hell yeah. Tenfold. So, I mean, anyone that had any issues with any past episodes, though, and with any remasters that we've done, I mean, those seem to be a day in the past, because we're working with we're professional podcasters now.
I made this joke on our other podcast, but it's what my business card says.
What do you do for work? I am a professional podcaster.
The only problem is professional spelled wrong.
You're a professional.
Yeah. There you go.
But today's episode is none other than the Ninja-Poké Showdown, or I'm gonna have a hell of a time. I should have looked this up way before now, but translated from Japanese, Sekichiku Ninja Showdown. Sekichiku Ninja Showdown is what it is in Japanese, and this is episode 32. It premiered November 4th, 1997 in Japan, and here in the States, it premiered October 20th, 1998. So, good old Dougie, man. Of course, like like always, it seems like you beat me every single week, but you have the very first, um, I guess, the very first thing of the year, well, in our new year, of us recording, but you have the first event.
Yes, I do, and I don't always try to beat you. It's just I
You love
beat
your
you.
history.
Well, I beat you to the punch because I do my stuff a little bit in advance, as opposed to, oh yeah, I haven't looked up dates yet.
In my defense, I have been remodeling my home all day.
Ain't nobody looking for excuses. That's all it sounds like on my end. That's all I'm hearing.
I've been remodeling all
I
day.
I don't want to hear it.
I installed a brand new front door today.
I don't think it's relevant to the Pokemon podcast. All I'm hearing is I didn't do it until I got on here to start.
Asshole.
So, on October 20th, I'm sorry, not 19.
Oh.
Not 19.
No. Just go ahead. Say it. 19. That means I beat you this
No,
week.
still beat you a little bit.
No.
1803. The U.S. Senate approves a treaty with France providing the purchase of the territory of Louisiana, aka the Louisiana Purchase, which is the single largest land acquisition, obviously, in the history of the United States.
I'm going to buy the whole United States one day.
Things Trump said for 100, Alex.
The U.S. will be mine. It'll be the best U.S. ever.
Motherfucker doesn't even have Twitter.
Oh, that's true. We ever since we stopped recording, Trump's been kicked off Twitter as of right now, and I mean I know we have a lot of like Trump fans and everything, and this is not a political podcast, but stop it. Stop it.
No. Fuck them.
These are the views of Dougie Fresh.
I don't care. Yeah, they are.
But we've had people rush our U.S. Capitol building just a couple days ago. Couldn't even make it a whole week. Fucking 6 days into the new year. But yeah, we're recording this on January 10th. But holy shit, has a lot happened in 10 days.
Yeah, it's felt like 5 years already.
I know. Welcome to 2021. But yeah, the largest purchase until I purchased the U.S. after winning the lotto. You know
Right.
the lottery as of right now, the Mega Millions, as of January 10th, 2021, is sitting at $600 million.
And after taxes, that's down to like 250.
No, I've already done the math. After taxes, is down to 471 million.
That's still a fucking lot of taxes.
It's a lot, but I'll take that 471. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fair because all you really did was pick numbers. But
Yeah.
Still.
So it'll change my life. I definitely put my 2 cents in on that lottery, and hopefully I win. Because if I did, none of you fuckers will ever know. Because I ain't saying shit. Have somebody try to find me and shoot me. I mean, you hear about those stories about people that win the lotto, they never get seen again. I ain't doing that.
They're idiots.
Yeah, no. So mine on October 20th, 19.
Well, I didn't even get to go into detail on which states were included, which current states would be included. I had a whole list and everything. You just fucking.
Then hurry up, Doug. Hurry up.
Really? Really? What time did we get on this call?
We got on at 8:30.
Yeah, what time is it?
It is 9:17. I had difficulties.
Yeah, well, that's neither here nor there, is it? It's every day.
It is not. Shut up.
So yeah, the states that would current day states that were included in this territory are Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Minnesota, Louisiana, obviously, New Mexico, Texas, North and South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, and Colorado, as well as the provinces of Alberta and Saskatchewan in Canada. So
That's a lot of places.
right there, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8, 9, 10.
Fuck you. A lot of states.
It's 2021, people, and me and Doug, we curse at each other a lot, but it's all out of love. Doug does just a little bit more quicker on his feet than I am sometimes. But
Sometimes.
yeah, sometimes I do get you sometimes. Mine came from 1930, and this is the day that The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes premiered on NBC Radio. And this was a daily radio show, Monday through Friday, where you had to listen to the radio to find out what happened next. God forbid you get grounded and you can't hear what happened next, and then you're 2 days late. I mean, that just sucks.
Or 3 days, it was on a Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Well, could you? No, I would take only missing Friday and going into Monday. Could you imagine going from a Tuesday into a Friday?
Oh, shit, yeah.
You missed Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're all the way out in San Francisco, and they were in Illinois last week. What the hell happened? So, yeah. Sherlock Holmes premiered on NBC Radio on this day in 1930.
So I would like to put a little button on our history discussion before we move into the Pokemon discussion.
Okay, what's up?
So when I misspoke earlier, even if I would have said 1903, I still would have beaten you.
Yes, you would have.
Yeah.
Why do you always gotta win?
Because I fucking won. I want credit.
Just out of spite, I should find something on the second date that we're doing after this podcast.
You have the option. You have the option for the next episode, but you didn't take it.
Because I don't know too much about it. So, but all right. But today's episode, again, is the Ninja-Poké Showdown. So, Doug, you ready to get on into today's episode?
I am ready.
All right. So, we start today's episode with Ash poking his head out of a bush. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this is a...
I'm sorry, I'm immature. Doug.
You good?
I'm good. I'm just immature because the way I said that, and then I thought about it, I was like, we're going to have a lot of perverts out there that's going to sit there and be like, oh, he poked his head out of a bush.
So, yeah, this was a real, you had like a real like laugh-in style, like how they used to like poke their heads out of doors, like they used to open up, because like you had Ash, and then what was the order?
It was Ash, Misty, and then Brock and Pikachu poked up simultaneously.
Yeah, they popped up at the same time, and then I feel like we can't go too many Pokemon episodes without one of them starting with them being lost.
Yeah, because they all look at each other. Brock is the only one with a map.
Well,
Might
maybe
I?
he shouldn't be anymore. 'Cause-
Well, that's the running gag, isn't it? Because he's the only one with a map, and then all four of them, including Pikachu, go. I think Fuchsia City is this way, and they all point in all different directions.
I mean, it's good comedy, but like when we're going through them, as we're going through them, at the clip that we're going through them, it's like, okay, here's that. Like as kids watching it, you don't have that long of attention span. So you go, oh, they're lost again. That's funny. But now it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, they're lost again. They were lost 5 episodes ago. Probably less than that if I thought about it.
Probably. It was probably the last episode that we did. We just don't remember it because it's been 3 weeks.
Right.
so, um, so after they all point in different directions, Ash sits there they all jump to a different. Well, we all jump to a different scene where they're all sitting on rocks and Ash is getting eager to get to Fuchsia City. And he's like, we need to get up. I need to go to the Fuchsia City gym and win my badge. And frickin' Brock's grooming Vulpix, which he got an episode ago. And Misty's like, oh, we have to wait for Psyduck. Psyduck's over there drinking from a waterfall. The only time that he's actually acting like a duck without
Right.
having a headache. Because, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, but then Misty fucking starts it because she's like, Psyduck, you're over there drinking cold water. Cold water can bring on headaches. And then Psyduck's like, oh yeah, my head hurts. Like, it's like if you wouldn't have said something.
Because, yeah, I mean, he walks back, and after she says that, he goes, sigh, and then he puts his hand on his head, and Misty's like, oh, hey. And then freaking Brock is sitting there, fucking all happy and shit, and is like, Susie is such a great breeder. You have such great hair, Vulpix. Oh, man, I love you. And Misty is sitting there like, oh, if Susie's such a great breeder, I'm a great breeder too. I would trade you my Psyduck for your Vulpix. Like, who the fuck would make that trade, Doug?
Idiots. Maybe
So,
trainers that actually wanted to train their Pokemon.
but what's even more fucked up is, like, Brock goes, no way. And then Misty looks over at Psyduck and goes, it wouldn't take much to brush his hair. He only has 3.
That was a pretty good line. And, like, Psyduck like looks up like he's fucking trying to count them.
He's like, really? I only got 3 hairs? But after that, we get our first shot of a new Pokemon that we haven't seen in the series yet. Venonat.
Yes.
Who's that Pokemon in this episode? Just that.
Right. And
Yes.
I'm glad you didn't ask me because I would have had to tell you that I knew it
Oh, you did?
because I looked it up on whatever it is, Bulbapedia or whatever.
Did you really?
I couldn't find the fucking air. Well, I could have if I would have gone to the wiki link, but I was bored, lazy.
I have the WikiLeaks bookmarked on my computer. Just one click. Boom.
Yeah, I should start doing that, but
So we go straight from that to the title of the episode. And then after that, we come to one of the funniest moments in this episode. They're crossing from basically one piece of land to another piece of land, and all that there is a big board that they're able to cross over, and fucking Ash is crawling like a little baby over this board, and Misty and Brock are just walking.
and here's my thing. This is so dumb. Well, I mean, obviously you get the comedic element of, Ash is on his hands and knees, basically praying to make it across, and Brock and Misty are fine. But if Ash is so concerned, why is Pikachu on his back?
Because Pikachu weighs less than 1 pound. I have no idea. Like, I would think Pikachu is making things worse by being on his back.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Pikachu's being a little bit of an asshole here.
Like,
oh, really? You're so concerned you're gonna fall? I'm gonna put careful now. I'm gonna shift on you.
and this is where they bring in like, they bring in death again in this because Ash is like, if I fall or if we fall, the Pokemon journey is over.
I'm sitting there going, come on now. It's only been 32 episodes, 31 that we've seen.
And I feel like Ash would have been cursing Brock out if he was older because he fucking he screams back at Brock, who Brock is just walking. He's like, "Are you sure Fuchsia City is somewhere around here?" And then grown up Ash is basically saying, "Brock, are you fucking sure that it's over here? Because if I cross this thing and the Fuchsia City gym is not over this, I'm going to punch you."
Yeah, I mean, and to Brock and Misty's point, they basically just point over, and you can see, what they're assuming is the gym,
But come to find out, it's not.
Well, but it is.
I mean, it is, but it's not. It's like they walk up to the building, but what looks like the gym from the outside is just an opening to the gate. And then they walk in.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
And then they walk in, and the fucking gym looks like a bunch of houses. They look like townhouses.
Yeah.
And they're all like booked together to the point where the trio thinks that it's a small city. Because Brock's like, this is weird to have a city in the middle of nowhere out here.
So they walk through the front, and
we get met by Venonat again.
Right. And old Dexter gets a workout in this episode. Because we get a description of Venonat, and then Ash immediately switches from badge collecting to Pokemon collecting, and he goes chasing after him, and he gets shocked. And
what does he get shocked by, Doug?
Well, he assumes it's Pikachu. Pikachu.
Well, hold on, because we skipped a funny part though. So like as soon as they enter in, right before Venonat makes his third appearance, Misty kind of vanishes, and they're like, where's Misty? And Brock walks over and goes, Ash, this is a secret door. If you knock on this door, the door opens, and then there's Misty scratching her ass, going, ow, that hurt.
Well, because she fucking fell through and landed right on it. It would. Should hurt, because she doesn't really have an ass.
I know. And she's like, Brock, what kind of place is this? And he's like, I don't know. And they're kind of looking around, and that's when they see Venonat for the third time. So he's not in any tree anymore. This is where, as you were saying, the good old Pokédex gets his first introduction into the episode.
And then Ash goes, well, that's definitely not a run-of-the-mill Pokemon, and he takes off after him.
So Venonat starts running, and as Venonat's running, Ash goes calling after. He's like, well, I think he wants us to follow it. And then Ash goes, let's go. And just runs, gets electrocuted, and he immediately thinks that Pikachu is the one that electrocuted him. And Pikachu walks over, being like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. If I did shock you, I'm sorry. I kind of felt bad for Pikachu.
He wasn't even doing that. He was throwing his hands up saying, look, I've done it before and I'll do it again, but this wasn't me this time.
Well, Brock kind of got in on it too, and he's like, well, if you didn't do it, then Ash, look there. Like he was about to go in on Pikachu for a second until he saw freaking Voltorb in the ground.
Well, unfortunately, Pikachu isn't exactly in a position where he can get the benefit of the doubt, like I said.
because he shocks him all the time.
Right.
So Ash is like, that thing doesn't look friendly. And he pulls out his Pokedex, and the Pokedex is like, Voltorb, the identity of this creature is unknown. I was like, it has an extreme personality and uses electric attacks, and at times self destructs. And they're like, oh shit.
So they take off again because they're still looking for Venonat or a human or something.
And Venonat's at the end of a hallway, and Ash goes, oh, all right, I'm going to go after him. And fucking runs into a fucking invisible wall.
So then they're like, oh, this is an invisible wall. This isn't fun. So then they pick Ash up and they go in the other direction and they run into another one. And Brock, genius of all genius, goes, I think we fell into a trap.
And they also call the person that made all of this a creep. Like, what kind of creep puts invisible walls over here? Like, this episode, if I was Ash, I'd be pissed off. But I was sitting there, I'm watching this with my son, and my son is just having a ball. He is just laughing. He's like, this is the funniest thing ever.
And then he's like, well, hopefully whoever trapped us in here isn't trying to steal our Pokemon because I really don't want to lose this Vulpix that I was given.
Yeah, because that's the only Pokemon he's worried about.
Yeah, not Geodude or Onix or the Zubat he randomly caught. Just Vulpix. You take the rest of them. And then Ash is like, well, there has to be a way out of here. And he boosts himself up to look out a window, and then wouldn't you know it, that window just collapses outward. And Brock and Misty just assume Ash is dead.
Yes.
Just damn.
Like they just thought Ash was just dead, and then like completely. I mean, they did act like they cared for him, but they're like, oh man, Ash just died, and Pikachu's like, oh Pika, and they're just looking over, and come to find out, Ash is just holding on to the door for his dear life, and he's like, hey guys, I'm not dead, help me up.
And then they look to the left and right. He says, I'm not dead, and they look to the left and right before they look down. What in the world?
I know. Like, where is he going to go to the left and right? Like, he fell straight down. Like, you look down. Like, what the fuck?
and then they just do a time wrap to where he's back up on the board. Like, they don't show Bulbasaur coming out and being a goddamn pulley again. They just, oh no, he'll be fine.
And then Venonat comes back, and Ash immediately gets mad at Venonat, and he's like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. Like, I really want to know what Ash was gonna do. Was Ash really gonna go and fight this thing himself without a Pokemon?
There's no way, because he couldn't catch him.
Like, he came running and then runs right through a door, and fucking all of a sudden we just see things spiraling at him, which looks like ninja stars. And fucking Ash goes, ah!
And he's pinned to the freaking wall.
Oh man. And then Brock and Misty walk into the room, and they're like, where is he? Where did he go? And then they're looking around the room, and she's like, there must be another way out. Maybe it's just another trick. And then there's Ash right behind her, and just looking like Ash is almost dead.
And then freaking Ninja comes cartwheeling into the screen.
A very good looking ninja, might I add. They even drew it to, like, never mind. A very, very sexy ninja pops into the screen wearing a very, very, very short skirt. Very, very revealing outfit. I turned into Brock for a second, didn't I?
And well, Yeah, because you beat Brock to the punch. Um, and then, she's like, this is a training facility and you all should be ashamed of yourself. You're not going to get out of here so easily. And Venonat pops back up and Ash from the walls talking shit. He goes, "There's that Venonat again." And she goes, "Well, Venonat was trying to tell me that 3 stupid people had gotten into this gym."
And then she says her name. Her name is Aya. Or
I
Aya.
I completely missed that.
Oh,
Twice.
Oh, you watched the episode? Oh, yeah, you did watch the episode twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she introduces herself and says, "I am Aya, a ninja inside of this gym." And she also tells them that they don't need her fashion report or anything. And then Brock is just oogling at her. And he's like, "You're pretty.
Pretty
You,
much.
yeah." He's like, "You're pretty. Your outfit looks amazing. Oh, don't mind them. I think you look gorgeous."
And then she goes, "I'm not going to let you go any further without having a Pokemon battle with me." And Ash, still against the wall, goes, "Well, yeah, well, that's fine. I accept your challenge." And then there's a beat. And he goes, "Somebody's going to have to help me down."
And then it's from that. But let's go back to the drama that she literally punched Brock to the floor right before this, and Brock is trying to like grope her leg, and she just has her foot right on his face, going like no, like just pushing him down to the
I bet he's into
ground. I'm sure, but it's at this point that Ash is getting ready to battle this Aya girl, and he chooses Bulbasaur to do his battling as his very first Pokemon in this.
And he goes for Vine Whip. Venonat is too quick.
I was about to say, like, she does pick Venonat. I thought you were about to say Venonat was hers, but yeah, she picked Venonat as her Pokemon.
It would be kind of weird if it's like, okay, here's Venonat, but here I'm going to pick a different Pokemon.
So, but it is at this point, yeah, you said Vine Whip, and then Venonat uses Psybeam, and fucking just pulverizes Bulbasaur.
But somehow Bulbasaur's able to shake it off and use
Leech Seed.
Leech Seed, which basically injects itself into Venonat's head and drains its power or life source, whatever the fuck. And Venonat is, there's a word, incapacitated.
Yes. So Venonat gets returned back into the Pokeball, and Aya then sends out Voltorb. Well, does she really send out Voltorb, or does Voltorb just roll into the scene? No.
Voltorb just appears so that dude can make an entrance.
Voltorb killed him. Well, didn't really. Well, self-destruct. I guess Voltorb can be brought back to life, but Voltorb knocked himself out for a cool entrance.
For a cool, exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
And it's at this point we find out who the actual gym leader is.
Yes.
And it's her brother.
Yes. And Brock immediately comes over because she's like, "Big brother, I have failed." And she kneels down at him. And Brock goes, "Oh, big brother, you have a very, very pretty sister." And then Missy comes over and just bonks him on the head with a hammer and goes, "This is no time for kiss up, Brock." What the fuck?
And just drags him out. And then at this point we get our introduction to Team Rocket as they're across the street. Well, across the streets, an oversimplification. They're hiding out like on a cliff above the gym. And James goes, "That looks like a Japanese restaurant."
Yeah. Oh, but we forgot to give the gym leader's name. So the gym leader's name is Koga.
I didn't forget. I didn't know it. I
Oh.
figured.
Yes. Koga is the name of the gym leader. Because Ash is like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I am Koga. I am the master of the Fuchsia City Gym."
Just once, I want somebody to go, none of your fucking business.
And Ash is like, "Wait a minute, this is a gym?" And then that's when we go out to to Team Rocket.
Yeah, and then James goes, this looks like a Japanese restaurant, and randomly Jesse goes, well, there's a bunch of
Poisonous Pokemon.
poisonous Pokemon in that gym that are ripe for the stealing.
It says poison Pokemon are positively perfect and perfidious. We should give them to the boss. And just throws up a rose over to James, and James just fucking pricks his finger on one of the thorns on the roses. Just awesome.
You
But
got to
then,
catch it low. You can't be catching it mid stem like that. That's on him.
I know. But all right, so then we enter back into the what we now know as the Fuchsia City Gym, which is not really a city; it's in the middle of nowhere. But they're in the gym, and Ash is getting ready to battle Koga. And what Pokemons do they choose?
So Ash throws out Pidgeotto, and Koga throws out another Venonat, and Ash goes, well, I just handled a Venonat. I'll be all right.
Yes.
And Koga goes, well, this Venonat has more experience, and then all of a sudden it fucking evolves.
Yeah, out of fucking nowhere. Like I feel like this is starting to become a theme in Pokemon. Like, let's have a gym battle. Oh, I have a level 1 Pokemon. My Pokemon is about to evolve into a level 2 Pokemon. And now I'm gonna make it 10 times harder. Like I give it up for Ash, because everybody else that's passed through this city got to fucking battle Venonat, and fucking Ash goes in. He's like, "All right, I got this. I just defeated a Venonat." And Venonat's like, "Nah, fam, I'm gonna evolve into a Venomoth."
So, and then for whatever reason, Brock's real dumb here because he goes, oh, it's a metamorphosis attack. And Misty goes, no, you idiot. It just evolved.
Like, of all people, Brock should have known that.
I'm saying. So then,
Dexter comes back
well, yeah, because of course, he's never seen a Venomoth before.
out.
Um,
And it goes Venomoth, the evolved form of Venonat. Tiny
um,
scales on its wing disperse variously spores. And Venomoth then uses Stun Spore at this time. And
and
Pidgeotto uses Whirlwind.
and the stun spore is unfortunately too strong for the whirlwind and gets blown right back at Pidgeotto. And
Well, he starts off with Stun Spore, and then as he's blowing it back, Koga tells him to use Sleep Powder, and he fucking puts fucking Pidgeotto to sleep.
right.
So Pidgeotto is now unable to battle, and Ash has to use the second of 2 Pokemon in the gym battle, because it's a 2-on-2 Pokemon battle. So who does he choose next? He's fucking smart and chooses a damn Charmander.
Throws out Charmander, and Charmander uses his flame attack to disperse the powder. And it looks like we're going to be starting from square one, and then the damn ceiling caves in.
Yes, and of course it is Team Rocket coming
And
into the scene again, and they are in disguise, Doug.
they are in Kabuki disguise, and they do their intro. They get uninterrupted, so they were really looking to fill this episode. And they finish, and then they try to be intimidating, and they fall because it's hard to move in the costumes. And
James is complaining that he can't move.
and Jesse's like, well, this is a place like this demands a kabuki entrance. And Meowth is underneath them, and he goes, "If y'all can't move, we're gonna lose all these Pokemon." And Jesse goes, "That's a good point. Let's change."
And then they
So
just they throw the makeup and everything. I wanna know how you get that much makeup off in like 0.1 second, because I need to tell Stephanie how to do that.
right, and then um, Ash and Koji immediately recognize the gravity of the situation and say, "Well, we need to team up to defeat these idiots." So um, they Charmander and Venomoth, and then Venonat from what's her
I
face?
yeah.
Yeah, her. And they're on what we assume is a collision course with Team Rocket, but then James becomes goddamn Spider-Man.
And fucking throws a big fucking basically a web at the three Pokemon, and then they're all just stuck.
And
So
then
so Misty's like, you know what? I got the perfect Pokemon for all of this. Let's go Starmie. And fucking Psyduck comes out. She's like, Psyduck, you're not Starmie.
Psyduck is confused.
Yeah, because I feel bad for Psyduck for a second, because Psyduck came out and he had his hands on his hip like he was about to do business, and fucking Misty just has to drag him down.
So Misty's like, "Well, you're out here. Fucking do something."
Yeah, and then she's like, you know what? I'm gonna get you some help. I'm gonna choose Staryu, and Psyduck just jumps right back up, and she's like, you're
Just
not Staryu. Fine, just go.
and Psyduck immediately just clings to her leg and is like, "Well, what the?" And it's like, and she's about to strike him, and Ash has to like hold her back in a full Nelson, and then she's like, "What are Psyduck's attacks?" And Ash is just a complete dick. Like the fucking gym is under attack, and he goes, "Well, you can ask Dexter."
Because who the fuck is scared of Team Rocket? Jesse and
Right.
James.
So
So
Dexter's
she,
like, "Well, he does a tail whip." So Misty's like, "Tail whip," and he fucking wags his tail.
I can almost tell. Well, I can tell you. I delete Tail Whip off of a Pokemon in the Pokemon game as soon as I can. I cannot stand a Pokemon to know Tail Whip. It is such a useless move. It does nothing. I mean, yeah, it takes the defense down of a Pokemon, but unless your Pokemon is on a really, really high level, if you do that move, it's a fucking wasted move, because then you're going to do Tail Whip, they're going to do Tackle, and you're going to be fucking down.
Right. So Misty's like, "Well, what else does he do?" Apparently, he does scratch. So Misty says, scratch attack, and it looks like he's got sharp claws, and he goes running at Arbok, and you see the slash lines, and you think, "Oh shit, Psyduck made contact." Nope, fucking Arbok has him in his jaws.
Yeah, just right on his head. It just makes his headache even worse. So, and then Misty just gives no shit. She's like, "You are such a pathetic Pokemon."
And then
Koga.
Koga, what happened to Larry and Steve? Koga goes, "Well, I think I know a way out of this," and he fucking pulls a ripcord, and out of the ceiling drop about 8 to
20,
10 volt orbs,
right?
and
And they're
you know,
about to self-destruct. Like, I don't know, I don't understand Koga's plan, because as this is going on, fucking Jesse just throws out a damn that
Spiderweb.
spider web again, and then Meowth is like, "Oh, you forgot one." It just picks up a Voltorb, and Voltorb just explodes in Meowth's hand. So Meowth should be dead.
Yeah, or at least out. Um, so that the fucking place blows, and the dust settles, and the room is slanting, so we're all drunk.
Yeah. So, and we find out that Koga made the room kind of shift with the beams because it's to confuse people when they're in there.
And then we find out that this the spider gunk isn't easy to take off. And then Team Rocket busts through another wall. So look, some of this place has to be replaced anyway. So what's a couple holes?
I know, for real.
And Meowth is basically bowling these Voltorbs, and fucking Ash is an idiot. He goes, "Pikachu, get him with a Thunder Attack," and Pikachu's like, "You fucking, I'm stuck." And Ash goes, "Oh, yeah."
And fucking Psyduck is just running back and forth because his head fucking hurts. And Misty's trying to get Psyduck back into the Pokeball and can't get him into the Pokeball. And Meowth gets fucking mad and just goes, "Man, just take your damn Pokemon back and get him in the Pokeball." And Meowth just kicks him and just goes, "Back."
He punts him, and then James is over there, and he goes, "Well, we should take this one too." And Meowth goes, "We don't need it." And he fucking takes a hockey stick, and he just goes, bang,
and now fucking Psyduck's head is just beaming. Like, I feel bad because when I was a little kid, I suffered from chronic migraines, and fucking Psyduck, like at this point, like of me back in the day, I would have been like blowing chucks. Like my lunch would have been all over the floor and everything. Like my head was hurting this much. Like I feel bad for Psyduck right
oh, absolutely.
now.
So Misty goes over and is like, "You'll be all right, Psyduck." And then all of a sudden, Psyduck just starts glowing this blue aura, and
and Jesse's like, "What the hell is happening?" And James is like, "I'm frozen. I can't move."
gets slammed into walls.
But that blue aura move, Ash took his Pokedex out, and
Because of course he did.
yeah, and he goes, "Move number 3, disable."
Right, and then confusion is when they get bounced off the walls.
Yes, and that was funny because he's just having all sorts of fun. Like Team Rocket's just going all over the place, and then fucking Psyduck
And then they
just
literally get
blasted off.
Yeah, they get chucked out of the building and they're gone.
And it looks
And
like
then-
Team Rocket is blasting off again.
And then Psyduck is able to use his powers to clear up the spider webs.
Yes,
And then poor dude is just
exhausted.
fucking wiped.
So, and then Dexter becomes amazing and just goes, when Psyduck's headaches get to be too bad, he uses he unleashes amazing power.
I'm sitting there going, no shit.
I was like, you couldn't say that at like at the start.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, when they were talking shit on him, like when Misty was throwing a trade offer out and Brock said no way, Dexter couldn't have shown up and gone, actually.
Like, I don't get Misty's relationship with this damn Psyduck. Like, this whole episode, she's like, "Fuck you, Psyduck. I don't want you. I try pick and star me. No. I try pick and star you. No. Get back in the Pokeball." And then fucking Meowth is like, "Oh, we don't need this Psyduck." And even Brock goes, "Well, damn. Even Team Rocket rejected Psyduck." And then she shows remorse for Psyduck. It's like, "Oh, it's okay, Psyduck."
And then Koga is like, well, would you consider trading your Psyduck for my Venonat? Or, well, his evolved.
Venomoth.
And then Venomoth. And then Misty's like, well, no way. And then Ash is like, 10 minutes ago, you were trying to trade for a Vulpix.
And she's like, "I love it. I wouldn't trade my Psyduck for anything in the world." And she's all happy because Psyduck is now a legit Pokemon, even though in coming episodes, Psyduck is gonna drive her up the damn wall.
And then one of them was like, well, a Pokemon like that would at least be worth a Fuchsia badge. And then Ash is like, oh, right, we haven't finished our battle.
So, what happens next?
So we go out to the field because the place is wrecked.
Oh, you're telling me that Koga couldn't fix up the gym right away?
If he'd have had a couple hours, maybe. So we're standing at the field,
And he chooses Golbat.
Yeah, and so Ash had Charmander, and yeah, Koga chooses Golbat, which is the evolved form of Zubat, which Dexter does not mention at all.
No.
Just mentions about the sharp fangs and how much blood he can drink in one shot.
So Pokemon have blood.
Apparently.
All right.
Except I don't know like what you get out of a fucking Porygon, but
yeah, well, I know about that. So I mean, wait until we get to that episode, Doug.
So off the rip, Charmander uses Ember, and it's looking like it's going to be effective because he's trying to prevent from the move that Golbat's doing. But then Golbat uses Screech Attack, and everybody's
holding their
ears, and
Brock shivering.
Charmander's discombobulated. He's trying to use Flamethrower. He can't get he can't hone in on Golbat, so he's just spraying fire anywhere. Poor Brock gets it.
Right in the face.
And
but then his flamethrower does end up hitting Golbat at the last second on his wing. And then Ash tells Charmander to finish it off with a fire spin.
Should Charmander be able to use fire spin?
Yes.
At this point,
I mean, well, it has been a few weeks now, so I mean, you would think that Charmander is pretty good. I mean, it's one of his highly, outside of Pikachu, one of his highly leveled Pokemon.
Well, that's a fair point. He gets out and gets used as a flashlight a lot.
Yes. So it's at this point that Golbat gets engulfed in flames and basically gets burned to a crisp, and the battle is over. Ash has won his next badge, and he now has the Soul Badge.
This bothered me.
Why?
Because Golbat's done.
Yes.
Poor dude's literally toast.
Yes.
He starts falling, and then we just cut to Charmander. Well, the battle's over. What happened to Golbat? He never landed.
Well, he got called back to his Pokeball.
He did not.
Mid fall.
He did not. I just watched it.
It was off screen, Doug.
He did not. That's bullshit. Off screen.
Yes, off screen. Just like a lot of stuff happens in this show, off screen.
So Ash has his soul badge, and he's got his little jacket, and he's got them all nice in 2 rows.
Has 6 badges now.
Moving on to the next town, and for some odd reason, Psyduck has no Pokeball.
No.
He's just a walking.
Yep. Because Misty's like, you can stay out and you can get some exercise and walk. And she's like, you did a good job back there. But don't let it go to your head. And Psyduck's like, I?
And then we're all like, ha, ha, ha. And then we get the Pokerap.
Yes. So, good episode.
Didn't think I was going to like it. Didn't really like it watching it twice. But talking about it, I was like, yeah, it's not bad.
It's not. I mean, they put a lot of logic into this episode.
I don't watch Pokemon for logic.
You watch it more for what, Doug?
I watch it for the action.
I want to see action. I want blood. I want someone to get knocked the fuck out.
Why I like next week's episode so damn much.
So, all right. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. This was a fun I mean, now looking back on it, this was a fun episode.
Yeah, no. I mean, now that, like I say, I watched it twice on my own. Once a couple days ago, and then just today. And I was like, well, I didn't catch anything really. I mean, I didn't even fucking catch dude's name, so I'm like, this is gonna suck. And then, like I say, talking about it helped. So
yes,
some episodes, it turns out, can be redeemed.
good episode, good show, good review. But sadly, this is the end of this week's episode, Doug.
That's okay. They all have to come to an end at some point, and we got a really fun one next week.
Oh yeah, we do. But you know, since he's officially locked in, for everyone that stayed until the end of this episode.
Maybe next week.
Oh, you want to reveal it next week?
Maybe next week.
Well, it is 2 episodes away.
Well, but by the time they hear it, it'll be done anyway, so it won't matter.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, but I'm just saying. Just we'll wait until next week.
Oh, okay. Well, if you listen to next week's episode,
Which you should, because it's a real good one.
Yes, it's a real good episode. We have our next special guest on the way, and it's one of our bigger guests that we've had on the show so far. And it's going to be definitely worth the listen. So, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, as of right now, we haven't done the interview. We're actually doing the interview in a few days, but man, I'm pumped up.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where this took a little bit of scheduling gymnastics, pretty much on our part. I mean,
oh yeah, but
we
we'll go into more detail next week. Next week.
Oh, now it's next week.
Oh.
You were all ready to give away the fucking whole shebang.
Yeah, but you just told everybody next week. We can't give any spoilers this week.
All right, fine.
So, all right, everybody. So that was it. Next week's episode is called The Flame Pokemon-a-thon, or translated from Japanese, and I think I like the Japanese one better, The Big Fire Pokemon Race.
I mean, that gets right at it. Yeah, I mean, you honestly can't beat that.
Exactly. So I might, for the first time in a while now, I might prefer the Japanese translation. So, all right. So, Doug, say goodbye, Doug.
Bye, Doug.
And this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you don't want to miss next week's great episode because we also have big news for you. Have a good night, everybody.